So my proudest and most embarrassed as a father, my best and worst decision are all wrapped in one. My oldest had climbed Katahdin and she was like 7 when she climbed it the first time. So like a year later, she's 8. Logan's maybe 2 years later, like 9, 8-ish. I decided we're gonna climb Katahdin, but we're gonna do Knife's Edge.
Yep. Yeah.
Have you ever done Knife's Edge?
No, we weren't allowed to. There was like 55-mile-an-hour winds in the.
So have you been up to the top of Katahdin?
Oh yeah.
And so I've been on the beginning part of Knife's Edge. I've never done Knife's Edge, but I've been on the beginning. I'm like, oh, this is nothing. So I take the girls up. We get up there, and we're doing Knife's Edge, and now we're into it, and it's starting to. That's a legit, like in my head, it's like 15 feet wide and just cliffs on either side, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
It's legit scary.
Yeah.
And Logan's like 7 or 8, and she's just terrified out of her mind.
Yep.
And we're too far into it. Like the day is too far on. We can't go back.
Yeah.
We got to keep going forward. And I'm like, if she freaking locks up, if fear stops her, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
Like I can't.
Did you tie a rope to her or anything? Or
no, we didn't. I don't think I even had a rope to
her.
Like when I was there, like trying to be ready to catch anything, but she was so terrified, she couldn't walk. She couldn't. She had to crawl.
Yep.
And then she tells me, she's like, Dad, my feet are really killing me. And we take off her shoes, and she has 2 ingrown toenails. Oh. Beyond belief.
Damn.
But, and we get off the mountain, it's dark. It's like 10 o'clock. My wife's called the state police. My mother's called the Rangers. They're all coming up to find, but she made it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It could have gone bad. I would not recommend that to any father. No. But I see a toughness in her from that day. You know what I mean? Like, whatever comes at you, it's just like I kept telling her the whole, like, you got to take one more step.
Yeah.
We just got to keep going.
Yeah.
And that's the only way we're going to get off. Dad, how are we going to get off this mountain? One more step.
Yep.
And she doesn't, like, she has, like any teenage girl, insecurities and lack of belief in herself. But I see the toughness that I don't see in her friends. And I did a lot. I mean, that was the only really dangerous thing, but I was quite proud of her.
I was going to say, you must be like super proud
that
moment.
That was amazing. Like, Logan, you don't even understand.
That's pretty badass, though.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Does she remember it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much like, I don't think she recalls it to like, oh, that was so bad I can do this.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
She's probably heard the story enough where she can remember herself being there.
But yeah, that was quite a traumatic night.
I can't imagine being the father too, knowing that your job is to protect her.
And I put her in this dangerous situation.
And put her in that danger, so you're feeling guilt. But at the same time, you're like, okay, well, I can feel guilty or I can feel sad or mad. Still got to get across this.
Yeah, I had to
this part,
coach her, motivate her.
Like, and you can't. Yeah, you had to be, fearless.
Yeah.
And pretend that nothing was
going to happen. Yeah. That was, when we finally got off the dangerous stuff. Yeah. That was a good feeling.
Like 50 pounds off your shoulders.
Oh my gosh. But that little girl is tough.
That's cool.
And so like I said, I wouldn't recommend that.
No, but it's cool though, because to put them in tough situations like that.
Right.
And she, it's not like you could just carry her the whole way. You're on Knife's Edge. Like,
there was no.
But that's just like life, though. She's gonna go through struggles where, sure, you could probably solve the problem. Right. She might not be able to pay rent 1 month, and you could probably pay the rent for her, but she's not gonna learn anything from it.
Right. And I like, she has teammates that like schoolwork is too much with field hockey, so they quit the field hockey team. And it's like, Logan's doing twice as much or doing as much. Yeah. And she's muscling through. Yeah. You know what I mean? And she'll have some tears some nights and be pretty upset. Yep. Both my girls, they don't deserve the credit for me. Like,
that scares me. So much of who you surround yourself with is who you most likely will become.
Yeah. And hopefully you've done a good enough job earlier on.
Yeah.
But she was so much in it, like, the abusive cycle, like this was it was I don't recommend that to her.
That's tough. That's really tough.
So what's that?
Like I said, I remember my father-in-law was one of the people that told me before I was dating his daughter. He always told me and my brother-in-law Kobe, you know, you guys gotta stick together. You gotta stick together. You gotta make sure you keep good friends. And he always made an effort to say that. And he was like, you know, you're gonna grow up with kids. You're gonna lose friends. Kids are gonna die of overdoses. They're gonna get in car accidents. You know, they're gonna drop out. They're gonna do this. They're gonna do that. And we were always like, no, in our group, we're all
Right.
decent students. We're all good athletes. You know, we're good kids. And sure enough, you know, we've lost a handful of guys to drug overdose that you never would have thought, you know, that would happen to. And it becomes that much more realistic once you have kids. And you're like, that makes you think that much more about who we want to come over to the house and who we're friends with as adults. You know, it feels like you have less and less time for people that don't have the same goals as you or insight. Like, I never want to be the smartest person in the room. You know what I mean? I always just want to be, you know, surrounding myself around people that I think are cool and smart and can learn from. And, you know, hopefully my kids make that right decision. But I don't know, as a dad, something about a dad and his daughter versus a dad and his son. You know, I know as
Daddy's little girl is a real thing.
That's
like,
a real
I feel
thing.
bad for anybody that hasn't experienced that, and you're just at the beginning of it because 3, 4, 5, like they hang on you.
Yeah.
And it's weird because, I mean, I had 16 years of always being right on everything.
Yeah.
And like that, now I'm wrong on everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to that's hard to deal with.
Like, you used to love me.
We used to do group hugs every morning at the end of the driveway. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, and they're still great. I mean, things are good. You know, I still get the love, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not dad to everything anymore, and it's different.
Yeah, I bet it is different.
It's hard to.
I'm not ready to deal with that yet.
But daddy's like that is the best thing in the world, though. Like, it's funny because Dee will give me a hard time because like before gender reveals were a big deal, you know. But like when I found out Logan was a girl, I was like, I couldn't hide it in my voice. Like, I wanted a son.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But man, I wouldn't change it. You know what I mean? Like, it was just a brief moment, but my daughters are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think because I didn't have a son, I raised him like I'd raise us. You know what I mean? Like, I treated him like.
Well, they're your little buddy.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I think they're maybe a bit more boyish than I would be, because you see and I apologize if you're like this, but like, I think fathers that like you have one of each, and the dad does the thing with the boys, and mom does the thing with the girls. Yeah. Well, you're doing a disservice to your daughter. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, raise them the same. Yeah. Have equal relationships on both, because it makes them better. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I agree. We bought our son a 4-wheeler for his 3-year-old third birthday. Right. And my daughter, she might love it more than he does. Right. And so she'll like cry. I'll take them almost every day after work. I'll take them for a ride on the 4-wheeler, just in the yard. And she'll cry if we get off the 4-wheeler. And then sometimes if my son's sleeping, I'll just take her on the 4-wheeler and go. We both try to split up relationships with both. Yeah. Because you do, by nature, you know, we'll pack up the vehicle and go to camp for the weekend. And by nature, me and Knox are doing our own thing together, and Riley and Elodie are doing their own thing together. And we try to flip-flop that. We try to notice it and be like, hey, we got to like switch things up a bit.
Right. And I didn't have to think about that because all I had was daughters. Right. So I made them tough little girls. Yeah.
Our daughter's tough too, though, just because she's used to Knox. I mean, that kid is 100 miles an hour, and she's constantly like getting an elbow or a shoulder, most of the time by accident, just because he's running laps in the hallway and like playing with his guns and playing with his trucks, playing with dinosaurs, and she's just trying to keep up and trip and fall. She's way tougher than him already. Like, he hits himself and he cries for 10 minutes. She just got a bloody nose on the carpet because she tripped over a dinosaur, and like snot came out everywhere and everything, and she was good in like 2 minutes. Got like 4 out-of-state numbers.
Did you love that? So
my warranty's probably expired.
I was just gonna say that.